Hey guys, in this video we'll be ranking puppet combo villains from least to most scary in terms of appearance. Now I pretty much have played most if not all puppet combo games, so I decided it'd be a good time to check out which killers made me shit my pants the most. Let's not waste any time and move on to the list. First off, I'm gonna have to go with Santa's helpers, or the elves that appear in Planet of the Bloodthirsty Santa. These guys are tiny, ranging anywhere from 3 to 4 feet tall. Yeah, they're really small and honestly kinda cute. Other than their sharp canes that they use to stab you, these guys look pretty much harmless and not really that scary compared to other types of enemies. They honestly look like little elves you would see in like a cartoon. So yeah, not that scary visually, and that's why they're all the way at the bottom. Next up we have Terren. Yeah, he's literally just a regular dude. Why didn't I place him before the elves? Well, at least the elves are really small and some might even find them cute. Yes, I know, but I think they're much less scary than a regular human. Terren is anywhere from 5 to 6 feet tall and is just a normal, regular, everyday guy for the most part. He's just eh. After Terren, we have Larry. Now yes, I know, Larry is a psychopath killer. But this list is about looks and not actual crimes committed or how capable these villains are as killers. Now I'm not gonna lie, if I saw a 6-foot man running around butt ass naked with only tidy whities and a Santa mask, I would honestly laugh. People who live in New York or Florida have probably seen this many times, and to be honest, they've probably seen worse. So yeah, Larry honestly looks kind of funny. I know in Christmas Massacre he has other outfits that might be more scary, but in terms of the lore, his canon look is the one that we see him first start off with, which is of course the iconic undies and Santa mask. Pretty funny to be honest if you ask me. Next up we have the Womb Ripper. Other than the knife she carries, all she is just a naked woman running around, which again, might be a little comedic to some. I've seen many videos of crackheads just running around completely naked, tweaking out. And that's sort of what I think of when it comes to Larry and the Womb Ripper. Just imagine her running around bumping into stuff and falling down. Yeah, not that scary now. I will admit, she does have a pretty big knife, as well as that baby mask she wears, which does land her above Larry. But in terms of overall scariness, like I said, she just runs around naked, and in a normal everyday setting, that would be more comedic than scary. I want it to be clear that this list pertains to in real life scariness and how likely these people are to actually have you shook, and naked people running around is not as scary as some of the killers I'll be mentioning soon. Up next we have the Mutilator. Okay, from here on forth we actually start to get to killers that would probably have you shook a little bit if you were to see them in real life. The Mutilator in all his scariness can honestly pass off as a Halloween costume. His look consists of a janitor's outfit and a wolf mask, which I can totally see someone wearing for Halloween. Is it scary? Sure, it can be, but once you view it like how I described it, it really isn't that scary. The only real scary part about his look is his glowing red eyes, which could be pretty scary if he were to jump scare you. Next on the list we have Billy. Now Billy is pretty similar to the Mutilator now that I think about it. A janitor-like outfit as well as a mask, but what sets them apart is his mask and as well as the weapon he uses. Now it might be a stretch to say this, but I think more people would find Billy's mask more uncanny and scary than the Mutilator's mask, which you could probably find at Party City or something. Billy's mask sort of reminds me of clowns, and although not entirely the same, I feel like people would be more disturbed by Billy's mask than a wolf mask if you were to see them approaching you. Also, Billy has a freaking gun, which easily would make your heart drop if you saw him anywhere near you. I know in my last video ranking the killers, a lot of you guys voiced your opinion that Billy should have been placed higher. I hear you guys, trust me, I don't think he's entirely weak, so I think him being placed kinda in the middle is reasonable. Sorry Billy lovers. Alrighty, so next I'm gonna have to go with the Easter Ripper. Now, other than the Easter Rippers, or should I say Tom's unnatural strength for a human, he doesn't look as threatening as some of the other killers. Yes, I do think a grown man in a bunny costume coming at you with a sickle can be scary, but in terms of his overall look, he's pretty basic. He walks towards you pretty slow, and some might even like his outfit if it were to be around Halloween time. You know, thinking of it, I probably should have placed the Easter Ripper lower on this list, but I'll just make do with his current placement. His face is kinda scary, but that's pretty much it. Okay, so now we're getting into pretty spooky villains. Up next we have Dylan from Deadly Night. I'ma keep it a stack. This man is chopped. I mean, come on, look at his face. Nah, let me not, because Dylan is a burn victim, so my bad. In all seriousness, Dylan has a pretty scary look. His face is pretty deformed and uncanny. It looks like he laid face first onto a girl and just let it burn his face off, cause god damn. It doesn't look like he has eyelids either, cause his eyes are constantly wide open and in a perfect circle, which looks very unnatural. Also, I don't know what's going on with his mouth area, but that's pretty spooky too. He reminds me of those horror movies that take place on farms, as he has the tank top and the suspenders, which give him a kind of, untamed and wild look. And yeah, he's also fast as hell. I would pass out if I saw that man running at me full sprint. Next up, we have the Night Ripper. Now, I don't know what it is, but there's something about a human body wearing an animal mask that just rubs me the wrong way. Now wait, I know I placed the mutilator lower on this list and he pretty much has the same vibe, but the duck mask just scratches something deep within my psyche that makes him that much more scarier. Be honest, which looks scarier, this or this? The duck mask just, I don't know, it's just 10 times more scarier for some reason. Also, the Night Ripper wears a coat and a hat, which makes him resemble more of a serial killer, which too adds to his fear factor. Also, added bonus points for those weird duck noises he makes. I'd probably drop a few turds if I heard that thing chasing me. Up next, we have the Driller Killer. The way this tall ass, lanky ass man be running through the dark while screaming gibberish in the sound of a drill would have anyone pooping and peeing themselves. His whole outfit also contributes to scariness, and I'll put a close-up of his face on the screen just so you guys know what I'm talking about. I mean, look at that. Ugly and scary. I don't know why there's a lot of darkness and shadows around his face, which make him look more scary than he needs to be. But yeah, his eye sockets are also completely black and he shows no expression at all. A true serial killer look. I don't know about you guys, but I'm giving up my cheeks if he's chasing me. Here, have him. So nearing towards the end of the list, we have Killer Santa. Now I'ma be real, there's not much going for him other than the fact that he looks like a scary and feral version of regular Santa. This man's eyes are completely white and he has hella blood on his clothes. I know we're basing this list solely off looks, but if you read the notes spread throughout the game, you find out that Santa actually tortured and killed the regular elves and basically wiped out their population. There's something about this take of Santa we all know and love that just adds so much fear to his overall character. We all grew up loving Christmas and thinking he has a great relationship with elves as they help him wrap presents and stuff, but of course Puppet Combo completely spins it and ruins our view of this childhood hero we all believed in when we were kids. He also has like an axe too? The hell? So up next we have the Booty Creek Cheek Freak. Out of all the villains on this list, this one most resembles an actual monster. This killer literally has no eyes and huge teeth that he probably uses to chomp on your cheeks. I don't know if this was intentional, but the top half of his head looks like a pair of cheeks too. But yeah, he always has this smile/grin look on his face that makes me think he's always thinking of cheeks. He also can shapeshift into a car, which makes it 10 times worse when he's chasing you. Imagine just running from him and all you hear is the sound of a car engine turning on and he's speeding towards you. Yeah, pretty scary. Again, I want to emphasize that he really does look more like a monster than a regular human, which adds to a scare factor. Next on the list, we have the Butcher. So coming up towards the end of the list, we have killers that I would genuinely be scared to see in real life, and the Butcher is no exception. On Puppet Combo's Twitter, they mentioned that the Butcher is 6 foot 8 feet tall. God damn! He wears a sack on his head, pause, which makes his face unknown, so anything could be under there really. You can't see his eyes, and because of his mask, you can't see his facial expressions either, which make it all the more scary. This killer and just the game in general was inspired by Texas Chainsaw Massacre and The Hills Have Eyes, which I can definitely see. If you watch those films, you understand how scary the Butcher would look in real life, especially given the fact that he's a cannibal. Spooky. Following the Butcher, we have the Tall Man from Day 7. Now to start off, this man's origins are completely unknown. And I know that's the case for most of the other killers, but the fact that he appears in the backrooms for apparently no reason other than to just stalk you and attack you makes him that much more scarier. As we discussed in our other video, he's freakishly tall and has long and sharp fingernails. He also seems to be an older gentleman because of his gray hair. And I don't know about you, but a 7 foot tall, long, nailed, old, lanky man chasing me does not sound like a good time. I'll be real, it's mostly his hands and long sharp nails that make him extra creepy, but his overall look is just frightening. Just like in the game, if he were to appear from the corner and attack me, I just might die from a heart attack. After the Tall Man, we finally have the Nun. Now, I don't think I have to explain myself on why this killer in specific is this high up on this list. I mean, just look at her. We can point to real life examples such as the Nun horror movies that are so popular as examples of how many people would find her scary. I think this is the first puppy combo game to really strike a chord with the general public because the Nun as a killer and just how she looks was perfect for the goal this game set out to make. Abandoned school and a paranormal nun chasing you in the pitch black. The puppet combo PS1 style also beautifully mixes with the look of this killer. From the empty eyes leaking blood down her doll-like face to the knife she uses to attack while chasing you makes her radiate scariness. I think many people would agree. It also doesn't hurt that a lot of people just find nuns scary in general. There's something about that Catholic vibe that just strikes fear into many, especially when there's paranormal and demonic entities involved. Okay, so finally on the list we have Dr. Edward Sullivan as the most scary killer. I know, I probably pissed a lot of you guys off with this placement, so let me just explain myself. If you were to see this thing in real life coming at you, I promise you would need to buy new underwear because there's no way you're not shitting yourself. I know some of the killers on this list are pretty tall, but this guy is like actually a giant. I don't know why, but this guy wears a weird like mask as well as having a sharp blade as an arm. I mean, he literally doesn't even resemble a human anymore. Like I said before, I want you guys to envision all these villains in real life and in front of you. So sure, some of you guys might find some killers scarier than others, of course, but I think we can all agree if we saw this thing standing in the corner or just in the middle of the street staring at you, we are all turning around and hitting the jets back home. Okay, so that's going to be all for this video. I want to make a lot more videos just like this one where I rank the games and their characters with different topics. So hopefully you guys like this one. Anyways, I've taken too much of your time already. It's Blindfire. It's been real. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.